Yeah. Tan Zhongyi with Alexandra Kostynyuk. Those are top 3 pairs in the women's section. And in the men's section, Tigran Petrosyan will play against Magnus Carlsen. And on a second board, Sergei Karyakin faces Shahryar Mamedyarov. To remind you, Karyakin, Carlsen and Petrosyan are in the lead. Mamedyarov has half a point less.
As you can see, the first moves are already on the board.
Yeah, very, very fast, very fast play in the opening by both, let's say, on both the boards 1 and 2. Once again, we will be looking at Magnus Carlsen. So, Tigran Petrosyan, he went for a King's Indian attack, right? So, developing the pieces exactly like Blackwood in the King's Indian. So c3 and a3, he wants to play b4, and Magnus allows him to do this. Castles b4, a6, preventing b5 just in case. Knight goes to d2. I think bishop, now h6 probably you start with h6, then you put the bishop on e6, something like that.
To avoid knight g5.
Yeah, now he goes bishop e6 immediately.
What if
how about
knight g5?
Yeah, how about knight g5 now? How about knight g5 now? Yes, it's played. Bishop goes back to d7. Knight to c4, h6. And yeah, we'll have a transposition actually. Well, interestingly enough,
it takes the time to...
Petrosyan started to think, so we can say...
There's a possibility to take on f7, d6, and then b7 is hanging.
Well, he takes on d6, h5, takes on b7, and takes on c5. So he'll have 3 pawns for this piece.
And g5 pawn is hanging.
g5 is hanging as well. Very early, the situation in the game is unbalanced. And not in a pleasant way for Magnus Carlsen, I have to say, because so far his position is not that pleasant. Okay, he decided to go g4, which is a desirable move in terms of the structure, but this allows white to, well, to take on d7. I don't think it will be taken immediately, but, you know, in the long run, this bishop, it always will be on d7, so white will sooner or later take it, and we'll have 2 bishops and 3 pawns against 2 knights and a bishop of Magnus Carlsen. Well, very early the situation got unbalanced. But white, on the other hand, white also needs, needs development. Bishop to g5, which is yet another annoying move. Yeah, not that pleasant the situation is for the top seat. Queen b3, so coming a little bit from one side, a little bit from the other side. Knight d8, so Magnus seemingly knows where his pieces are going to be placed.
He wants to go knight e6 to trade some of the pieces.
Yep, bishop e3, knight goes to e6, trying to force some actions, because this knight on c5 is really on dominant square. So what Magnus wants to achieve is that white will somehow react to his maneuvers. He takes on c5 by himself, and finally his bishop is still alive. I mean, feels like a relief for Magnus. Queen goes to a4. So what to do for black now? White pawns are not yet moving. Well, d4 is actually an idea, right? d3, d4. d3, d4 is actually an idea. How about a5
but then
here?
Bishop c4 comes.
Yes, so just like not to react. Yeah, maybe a5 is the...
Yeah, I was thinking about a5, but...
a5, but then,
white pawns are blocked so far. Why a5?
Yeah, just want some play. I mean, I'm trying to... Well, knight c6. Knight c6, well, it allows d4 now, and he will still play bishop c4, right?
Bishop c4.
Bishop c4. So now if d5, where the knight is going? After d5, where the knight is going? To b8 and d7. So this will be blocked.
This bishop will be off from c5.
Yeah, bishop f1, but look, I mean, just look at those pawns. Rook takes, knight to d7, and then Magnus has to take the pawn on c3 after bishop e3. No, he didn't.
No, d7 knight is hanging. He
d7
can't.
knight was hanging. Yeah, but he found similarly a very nice way. Knight f6.
Now e4 and c3
attacking the
are
pawn on
hanging.
e4, and in case of queen c2, queen c4 will block those pawns. That's very important. I just thought that if white gets, you know, the pawns on c5 and d5, they definitely worse a piece. So Petrosyan decided to sacrifice the pawn on e4, but to set his mass of pawns in motion. Queen f5. Well, black has got some ideas on the king side, even in a slow way, like bishop f6, king g7, rook comes from h8.
You
know.
mean
Yeah.
the play on the king side? Also,
Yeah,
knight
of
can
course.
jump from g5 to f3, h3, not in particular position, but
Yeah,
at some
later,
moment.
of course, yeah, all the pieces will be joining. So I think the situation is favorable for Carson now, because pawns are threatening, but they are a little bit too far just yet. So it's not like pawns on d7, d7, c7, rook a to c1. Okay, another preparation move. Bishop f6. Yeah, he starts with this plan. Bishop to f6, king to g7. Well, possibility to go bishop g5 as well. Then, you know, if white takes, to take with the knight. c5. Let's see, king g7, rook h8. Yeah, I like the plan because anyway, rook on e8 is not doing all that much. It runs under some attacks with d6, d7, runs under tempo.
Now rook h8 and rook h2 is a threat.
Rook h8, yes, and rook h2 is a potential
Done by
threat.
the other rook on h8 and queen f3 mate on h1.
Let's see, f3. So therefore Petrosyan is trying to
There is g takes f, rook takes f,
gf3,
queen
rook
takes
f3.
f,
That's the
and
idea.
bishop h6.
That's the idea. gf3, of course, yeah. Knight goes to g5. Let's see. Petrosyan wants to take this this knight with the bishop, but bishop takes. The rook on c1 is attacked. Yeah, the situation changes completely. Now I'm actually sure that Carson has to be winning, but it's still not easy for him. Queen to d7. Let's see, d6 and c6 is a threat. How about c6? No. Queen c3 check first. King goes to g8. Rook, where the rook is going? Rook f2, e3. Pawn is moving closer and closer. Queen c6. The pawns are blocked. Yeah, I think now Magnus is the favorite. Queen d5. Well, nice move, controlling. I mean, queen d2 becomes a threat, and he also controls the movements of those pawns. The pawns are no longer that threatening. A
No,
takes, takes, rook
file
a2.
is open.
Rook a2 is brilliant move. I mean, especially that Petrosyan is down on the clock.
One
Queen
second,
e1.
he made a move on
Queen
1
e1
second.
takes. The bishop is still hanging. The rook a8. Rook a8. Rook a8 and rook a2 winning a queen. King h3 tries to run away. Still rook a2. And now a check from e6 will be deadly. e2. Check from e6 and e1 queen to follow. Very nice victory by Magnus Carlsen. Well, Tigran Petrosyan himself sacrificed the piece. He was not forced to, but it looked like a
It
promising
was very
sacrifice.
interesting, yes.
It was, yeah, apparently it was very interesting sacrifice, but it was refuted, at least in this game, by Magnus Carlsen. Right, and then the discussion